It's 11:45 p.m. You're lying in the dark, and the silence is so heavy it feels like it's actually pressing down on your chest. You're awake. She's either asleep or doing a very convincing job of pretending to be. You reach out, just a hand on her shoulder. And you feel it, that tiny, almost imperceptible stiffening of her body. She doesn't pull away. Not yet, but she doesn't lean in either. She's a statue, a beautiful, familiar statue that used to burn for you. She hasn't been intimate in months, and let's be honest, you're starting to lose your mind. You've played every tape in your head. You've wondered if you've grown old, if you've gotten boring, or if there's a name for the guy she's just friends with at work. You've tried the nice guy approach, doing more chores, buying flowers, asking about her day until your jaw aches. Nothing. Then you tried the cold approach, pulling back, hoping she'd notice the void. She didn't. See, most men think intimacy is like a faucet. If the water stops, you just need to fix the pipe. But for a woman, intimacy is the weather. If it's freezing in the bedroom, it's because a storm front moved in weeks, maybe years ago, and you missed the forecast. Today, we're going behind the mind of that silence. We aren't looking for excuses, we're looking for the structural reality of why she's withdrawn, and what she's really doing while you're lying there wondering if your relationship is already dead. 2. The invisible load and the death of desire. Let's start with the most common killer. It isn't another man, it's the mental load. Think about it this way. If she spends her entire day acting as the chief operating officer of your life, tracking the groceries, the kids' schedules, the family drama, the broken dishwasher, she is in manager mode. Here's the psychological truth. You cannot be a manager and a lover at the same time. They require completely different parts of the brain. When she pulls away, she's often just exhausted. Not, I worked out exhausted. My soul is a browser with 47 tabs open exhausted. When you touch her at night, you aren't offering her pleasure. You're offering her another task. You're one more person who wants something from her. And then there's the resentment trap. This is the silent killer. Resentment is like drinking slow-acting poison and waiting for the other person to die. Maybe it's an argument from 3 months ago where she felt unheard. Maybe it's a pattern of you promising to lead and then dropping the ball. Women have long memories for emotional safety. If she feels like she can't rely on you to hold the fort, her body will physically refuse to open up to you. It's a biological defense mechanism. Think about it. Why would she be intimate with someone she feels she has to parent? You've lost the masculine-feminine polarity. You've become roommates who share a mortgage, and roommates don't have soul-shattering sex. 3. The attachment trap and biological reality. Sometimes the withdrawal isn't even about you. It's about how she's wired. We talk a lot about avoidant attachment. If she grew up in an environment where she had to be hyper-independent, intimacy feels like a trap. The closer you try to get, the more you ask, what's wrong, or why aren't we intimate, the more she feels like she's being suffocated. Every time you chase her for sex, she feels like a hunted animal. And what do animals do when they're hunted? They find a hole and they hide. But let's get real for a second. Let's talk about the meat suit stuff. The biological influences. We're talking hormones, burnout, and depression. If her cortisol is spiked because her boss is a nightmare, her libido is non-existent. Evolutionarily, you don't mate when a tiger is chasing you. In 2026, that tiger is a 60-hour work week or a scrolling Instagram feed that tells her she's not enough. And let's address the elephant in the room. Pornography and fantasy. Sharp and direct. It's not just a guy thing. If she's withdrawing, she might be finding her sexual outlet in private. Romance novels, spicy fiction, or even her own fantasy world. Why? Because in those worlds, there's no conflict. There's no dishes in the sink. There's no real-world baggage. She's getting her dopamine hit from a screen or a book because the real-world version of intimacy has become too heavy to carry. 4. The validation search and the infidelity myth. Now let's talk about what keeps you up at night. The other man. Statistically, if she's stopped being intimate, she isn't necessarily having an affair. But, and this is a big but, she might be auditioning for one. She's looking for validation. When a woman feels invisible in her own home, she starts to wonder if she's still got it. She might not be sleeping with someone else, but she's doing the emotional work of seeking out eyes that see her as a woman, not just a mother or a wife. It starts with a like on a photo, a long conversation with a supportive coworker, a DM from an ex. She's feeding on the attention because the well at home has run dry. She isn't looking for sex, she's looking for the feeling of being desired. If you've stopped dating her, if you've stopped looking at her with that specific kind of hunger, she'll eventually find a mirror that reflects that hunger back to her. Validation is a drug, and she's an addict looking for a fix. What is her behavior signaling about your stability? It's signaling that the foundation has cracked. Sex is the roof of the house. You don't fix a leaking roof by yelling at the rain. You fix the foundation. If she's withholding intimacy as a form of power or control, you're in trouble. That's silent testing. She's waiting to see if you have the backbone to address the distance or if you'll just keep begging for scraps. 5. The diagnostic. Red flags versus normal cycles. Look, every relationship has seasons. You're going to have months where life is just loud. Kids, illness, grief, those are normal relationship cycles. But there's a difference between a dry spell and a shutdown. Here are the red flags. 1. She stops talking about the future. 2. She avoids any form of non-sexual touch. No hugging, no hand-holding because she's afraid it'll lead to something. 3. She's overly protective of her phone. 4. The contempt face. You know the one. That eye roll or that slight sneer when you try to be romantic. If you see contempt, the ship is sinking. Contempt is the psychological point of no return. Think about your masculine polarity. Have you become her yes man? Have you lost your own hobbies, your own drive, your own edge? A woman can't be intimate with a man she doesn't respect, and it's hard to respect someone who is constantly negotiating for affection. She's really doing something else. She's waiting for you to be the man she fell in love with again, or she's waiting for the courage to leave. Which one is it? 6. The way out. Repair, rebuild, or walk. So, here we are, the crossroads. What do you actually do? Step 1. Stop asking for sex. Just stop. You've been rewarding her withdrawal with your attention. You're chasing. Stop. Reclaim your own space. Go to the gym. Read the books you've been putting off. Rebuild your own mental palace. Step 2. Radical honesty. You don't say, "Why won't you sleep with me?" You say, "I feel like we're roommates, and I'm not okay with that. I want a partner, not a tenant. What's actually happening between us?" And then, this is the hard part. You listen. You don't defend, you don't lawyer her. You listen to the resentment, the exhaustion, and the fear. Step 3. Decide your walkaway point. You cannot fix a relationship by yourself. It's a two-key system. If you've done the work, if you've carried the load, fixed the polarity, and addressed the emotional gaps, and she still stays behind that wall, then she's already gone. She's just waiting for the paperwork to catch up. You deserve a life of intimacy, not a life of begging. Reclaim your dignity. If she won't meet you at the bridge, stop building it. The silence in your bedroom isn't a mystery, it's a map. It's telling you exactly where the relationship is broken. The only question is, do you have the courage to follow that map to its conclusion? Stay sharp.